G'day, Adam Hills here with a heads up with Kate Miller-Heidke, award-winning singer, songwriter, composer, Eurovision contestant, like overachiever is possibly the right word. Kate, I mean, for someone who has done so much and often does so much, so many things going on at once, before lockdown, what were you meant to be doing right now?
Right at this moment, I was supposed to be in New York, starting a lab for Muriel's Wedding, the musical that I wrote with my partner and
right.
So yeah, we were going to be starting off 6 weeks of working with American Broadway performers and sort of honing that show and trying to get it, theoretically Broadway ready. So that was quite an exciting prospect when that was happening. And
instead of that, what are you doing?
I'm at home. I've got a 3.5-year-old. I don't know, I've had to step off the kind of runaway train of my life and take a pause. And it's been, some days are easier than others, I think. I think at first I spent a while just sort of feeling dazed. I read someone on Twitter said they felt like a deer in headlights, except the headlights was their phone. And I kind of identified with that quite a lot, just kind of like badly addicted to the news and panic scrolling. And I think I'm kind of heading out of that state now and just like taking stock a bit, trying to be grateful, but I still do feel a bit of inertia from the momentum of my old life and just like a little bit of, I guess, grief for what I've lost, but like generally I feel fairly calm.
What would your tips be for anyone who's watching, who's trying to maintain their mental health?
Oh, look, I mean, everyone's in their own situation. I'm not an expert by any means, but I mean, every morning I get up and I try to meditate first thing. I've just started putting my phone like on the other side of the room, so I can't read about Donald Trump right before I go to sleep and right as soon as I wake up. That's made a huge difference for me. And yeah, meditating, and I make a list every morning, and sometimes I don't tick off anything. So sometimes I'll write something that I've already done just so I can tick it off.
That is possibly the best tip for mental health ever. Write down something you've already done, put it on a list, and then tick it off the next morning.
It still feels just good. It's funny, I find myself kind of dropping back to a simpler way of living for a while, and small things can make a big difference to my day, like chatting to the, elderly neighbour on my way past her house can make a big difference, or just seeing a friend on Zoom. But I suppose the hardest thing is the uncertainty.
Especially as a performer, I would imagine, because you don't know when you're going to perform next or how or what it's going to be. So I guess you've just got to trust that it's all going to work out.
Well, how do you feel about it? You're in the same boat.
I mean, I've got gigs planned, I've got TV shows planned, but they're already cutting back on some of them. So I don't know. I think it's one of two things for me. It's either find a way to be creative online and use whatever the whole new world is going to be, or just take up a whole new job. And I don't know that I'm qualified for that much apart from telling jokes.
Or just commit to having 2 years of, holiday.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2 years of making sure my kids are happy and safe. That'll do me.
That's I mean, at first I was really envious of single people, and just like I'd see pictures of my friends just reading a book on the couch all day. I've got a couple of friends who told me that they've never been happier since this quarantine started, because they get to work from home and they hated their offices before.
Yeah.
Just wanted to reach through Zoom and slap their faces when they said that. But I think ultimately for me, like hanging out with my kid, he's loving it. He's thriving. He's loving having time with his mum and dad, and kids like that, they love being at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Same with mine. I'm worried that they won't want to go back to school. I'm going to have to start being a bit of a not very good teacher, like starting to be a bit mean with them.
I'm sure that process will happen naturally.
Oh, listen, Kate, thank you so much for having a chat. I'm sure it really helps a lot of people.
Oh, such a pleasure. Thank you.
And look after your mental health, Australia.